Hello again, everybody. We are 3 whole minutes away from WWE Raw, which is 3 whole hours to look forward to. We'll have Goldberg. We'll have Nikki Ash. I've just had the glory of seeing Roman Reigns one more time. And I have no issues with more Roman Reigns in my life, as you might expect. Welcome, everybody. Let's see you saying hi so far. I've got Moxie here with the very first hi. Welcome. We've got Ed, dual streaming it, joining us on 2 different routes, 2 different channels, rocking out. Go for it, man. Great to see you doing it. Mycologist saying hi, and that's a thing because I've not seen that one before. Welcome. Kuro says, do you think Roman Reigns will meet Juan Cena? Nope, we cannot see Juan Cena. And in fact, it's like a see no evil, hear no evil thing. We cannot hear Juan Cena, just like we can't technically speak Jonas either. And Dean's back as well, saying hi, Tom. Welcome, Dean. How you doing? How have you enjoyed YouTube? I know you joined us on Friday. Have you been able to check out any more videos? I hope you're enjoying them, mate. We have a show for you tonight. Raw has not had that much announced, but what we do know, AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. We do know Nikki Ash will be celebrating her championship win. And we do know a lot of people are going to be pissed off with that. Charlotte Flair's not going to be happy. You know who else isn't going to be happy? Rhea Ripley. A lot of people not going to be happy about that one. Things are going to go crazy. Things are going to go crazy. Aqua VFX1. Do you want a spoiler here? Because I can give you a spoiler. I can give you a spoiler, but do you want one? Just to be very clear, my usual Friday show, my usual Monday and Friday shows at 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST, they're called spoiler warning. You want the spoiler? Okay. The main event of SummerSlam will be John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Finn Balor is not going to feature. That is a plan right now. Michael is here as well, saying hi, Tom. Welcome, Michael. So, Aqua, we do spoiler warning on Mondays and Fridays if you want more news, and there's also my YouTube. I suggest you follow, because we right here have the most well-informed chat in wrestling. Genuinely, we source everything we bring, and we bring in a hell of a lot of news. You might enjoy it here. Dean says, Omos and OJ. OJ will win. Yeah, pretty much. It's one of those. I won't be too surprised by a win, but I don't see it coming. I definitely don't see a win in their future. Moxie says Finn will fight Reigns on SmackDown. Unlikely. I'm pretty sure Finn will not get a chance to fight Roman Reigns because John Cena will just get involved. Finn Balor will fight Roman Reigns after SummerSlam. Roman needed competitors for after SummerSlam, and I think on Friday he got one. I think that's the situation that we're in. So how is everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It feels like it's been ages. It's been so long. So long. We met each other right here 3 hours ago. Aqua says Goldberg returning tonight. Goldberg returned last week, Aqua. Goldberg returned last week. And I don't believe he's there tonight. I think he's taking the week off tonight. Not sure, but I believe he's having the week off. Moxie says Finn isn't winning the title. Correct. He isn't. It's that simple. He isn't. And Michael says, going to skip Raw again tonight, except maybe a few segments involving the women to watch some of the Olympics. I get it. I will try and prompt you and keep you up to date as much as possible, so you know when it's worth tuning in. I'll give you a hint. It's going to be rarely. It's going to be rarely. You're having a match at SummerSlam. Do you mean Finn? Because at the moment, I don't think so. I don't think there's a logical opponent for him. I don't think there's a logical opponent for him. We have a 24/7 champion reclaiming. I gave up on that halfway through because I started feeling a burp coming, and I apologize for that. But the Queen has reclaimed her crown. Megan Sittin is here, ladies and gentlemen. Stat Queen, and in fact, Queen of our chat. I think we just all have to accept it at this part. Dean says Finn might win, but if he wins, he will. Finn's unlikely to win. If he does, it'll be when he's Demon King and he'll get battered by Lashley at Survivor Series and lose the championship back, let's be honest. No worries, Michael. We'll do what we can. Cora says, Tom, what about Cena being at MSG? I did talk about this on Spoiler Warning earlier today. The full discussion of this will be on Thursday's YouTube video. So keep an eye out for that if you have missed Spoiler Warning. And like I said, sorry, I forgot to say, will Goldberg have a match at SummerSlam? Yes, he'll be wrestling against Lashley for the WWE Championship. He has just walked into that feud and he will be keeping it. And now you're the Queen of Hearts, are you? It's not like we can argue. You are our stat queen, and you will forever be. You kind of earned it. I mean, come on. Like, you've earned it. Our opening recap is focused entirely on Nikki Cross winning the WWE Raw Women's Championship. That is our opening recap. No Bobby Lashley, no Goldberg. All of the focus on Nikki Cross, and I am down for that. They're panning across the crowd as a John Cena shirt. There's a little Raw robot and I don't like it. Nikki Cross is opening the show. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Alex says, do we have John versus Roman? Yes. Goldberg versus Bobby? Yes. Edge versus Seth. Edge versus Seth at SummerSlam. Fair, Kuro. Unless Goldberg somehow injures himself training. It's possible. Nikki Cross had to wait patiently there for a high five. Bless. Megan says, Scottish champion, Scottish queen, good times. Good time to be you. Good time to be you. Oh, she's giving people in the front row a hug. Who would have seen Nikki Cross becoming the cookie cutter baby face after what happened in NXT? Who would have seen that coming? That is indeed my name, Sin Cara. Welcome to the show. How you doing, mate? Like I said, Seth, I don't know what's wrong with my typing. It happens. Sometimes autocorrect. Moxie says, I'm watching Raw. It looks pretty good. To be fair, it's been going on for 5 minutes, so it's hard to judge. I think we've got some good matches lined up, but we'll wait and see. I think Charlotte Flair is going to be very involved in this opening segment. Michael says, good for Nikki. I see some making a big deal of her getting booed at a live event. It's just a live event. I'm not aware of that. I'm genuinely not. I did my research after this. I didn't hear anything about that. And it's interesting, isn't it? He's a hard man. He's a hard man. That sounds like a Nikki chant to me. Sounds like a Nikki chant. Bella says, your thoughts on why Nikki was chosen for the belt? They need to build new stars, ultimately. And she basically convinced Vince. Now she's being challenged to live up to it. What's she going to say? She's a bit too loud. Not hearing any boos. And yes, I did hear that she got booed at both live shows. I heard that from reporters. Didn't hear it from anyone at the shows. That's what I'm saying. I think Aqua we may get Fiend versus Jeff Hardy, but I think that's less likely now, given that, you know, coronavirus. Unable to watch me on... Do you mean Twitch, Dean? Do you mean Twitch? Like I said, she better not be getting booed, bunch of heathens. I'm not arguing with you. Absolutely not. But in Pittsburgh, she was getting booed. Oh, I see what you mean. Never mind. Don't worry. It's very possible, but personally, it's not popped up. I've seen it literally all over the place, but I've seen no evidence of it. You know? Sin Cara, no, they broke up a long time ago. A long time ago. Nikki Bella had a baby with a new man. I believe his name is Artem, and she seems very happy. Given the attire, she should probably have made the superhero stuff red. BT Sport has crashed. We're literally 6 minutes in. What is going on with this? I want to check for updates, but I can't do it during the show, and I keep forgetting. Seagulls are out. I have no idea, Sin Cara. That's his personal life, and it's no interest of mine. As I say, is something going on. Nikki Cross is celebrating being a champion, which is very goddamn enough. Fair you goddamn enough. If you're currently watching on YouTube, please remember to click like on the video. It makes a massive difference to the algorithm, makes me much easier to find, helps me grow, and I really appreciate it. Sankara, no, I do not. The fact that you have to ask that tells me that you are not ready for John Cena. But if you are attracted to John Cena and you run into John Cena, you shoot your shot, mate. I'm starting to think she's got the Braun Strowman push. I agree, Chelsea. She's taking too much time to compose herself. Nikki Ash. Almost a superhero. AAS. We can all almost be superheroes. That is the dumbest thing. Axe says, so a lot of WWE news stating The Fiend was scheduled to return to Raw on August 9th. That is true. Ticket sale information has advertised The Fiend to return on August 9th. However, ticket sale information also advertised Sasha Banks to return for the last 2 weeks on SmackDown. It is not a guarantee, but it is a good indicator that something is going to happen. Fuck me. Charlotte Flair has the buffest of thighs. She is built. Dean says, every time I see Jackson Reich, I feel like switching channels. You're not alone, but like this is my job, so I choose not to. Megan says, if anyone cares, Cena got married last year to his girlfriend, Shay. News to me. It wasn't something I particularly focused on, but thank you for bringing in the information, Megan, to fill that gap for us. As I say, the most well-informed chat in wrestling. Charlotte is here, Moxie. Charlotte is here. Matt says, John was telling me how he likes how polite you are despite being steaming angry at times. I'd imagine this is John Bear, and can you give me an example of that, Matt? Because first I've heard of it. I don't get angry. I'm a lovely guy. Also, I'm British. It's kind of built in. I don't have a choice. I'm naturally very polite. Now, Rhea Ripley is likely to get involved here, but she has no recourse to. Even though she lost by DQ, she has every right to demand a rematch with Charlotte, but not necessarily a match with Nikki. She left her in. Oh, they're committing to the Ash. Then he says, I miss Dean Ambrose. I don't. John Moxley's way better. Yes, he is FCB 2001. This is definitely the stream for you. Definitely. That Matt said I'll have to point it out if I see it, but yeah, I think it's just being British. I think it actually is me. I think it is. I can give you plenty of examples of people in British wrestling media who are absolute cunts. Plenty of examples. Also, how you doing, Matt? Been a little while. How are your streams going? How are you? Megan says, Cena and his wife have kept everything private, to be fair. Fair enough. I'll always respect that. I'll always respect that. Nicely done, FCB. Switching gear really nicely there. And I definitely agree with both of the things you said so far, to be honest. I'm a Messi fan, definitely a Styles fan. Matt says, I've been around several British people, so I'm kind of used to it. My auntie's British and I have a friend from Scotland. Yeah, we're lovely. Lovely. That's not true, Dean. If I click over, we have 5 people watching on YouTube right now. So it's not true. Also, Ed's always on the stream. The man knows how to lurk. Very talented. The user is here once again saying, hi, mate. Welcome, the user. Glad to see you again. I hope you've been enjoying the YouTube channel so far. FCB, you are also there and representing. Thank you. So, Dean, afraid you're just wrong. Oh, they put Charlotte off. They put Charlotte off. They put Charlotte off. She just burst out laughing. She corpsed. She corpsed. That's an achievement. I'm sorry to hear that, the user. Hopefully it sorts itself out. And Moxie says they should give Nikki a form of reign as Raw champ, then they give it to Shayna. I have no issue with that as a concept. As I mentioned earlier, my hope is that we get a fatal 4-way. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler, with the winner facing Nikki Cross at SummerSlam. Be happy with that. Zinkara says, I agree with the messy thing, but John Cena is the GOAT. You are entitled to your opinion, Sin Cara. I think you two need to start wrestling to work it out. Dean says you're glitchy. I'm really not, but your PC might be. Everything seems to be working perfectly here. If anyone does think I'm being glitchy, if anyone else can see it, please do let me know. Welcome, Kuro. Glad to see you. Billy said Charlotte has a habit of walking in the ring in heel shoes and not wrestling boots. Yeah, but to be fair, she can beat the shit out of people in heels. It's well proven. And Chelsea, yes, she did just break character. Charlotte corpsed. It's a very mixed reaction for Charlotte. A lot of people are really behind her. Thank you, FCB. Appreciate that. Just let me know. Let me just turn my banner on, by the way. Charlotte's really enjoying being booed. Not this year, mate. Not this year. Moxie said she didn't steal it. She kind of did. I mean, she kind of did. Thinkara says, how are you managing YouTube and Twitch comments? Basically, I use StreamYard. StreamYard can dual stream, and you can click on the comment and it appears right there. But this is one of the reasons I'm primarily on Twitch. And here comes Rhea Ripley. Not a surprise. Kura says, I feel bad for Carmella. She got battered a lot. Kura's melting. Oh. Michael says, I know I'm in a minority, but I can't stand heel Charlotte. I'm a Charlotte fan. Always have been. Okay, I love the t-shirt. Just says, you summoned me. Also good that she's slapping hands with the kids, but that's all. Moxie says they should give Nikki... you've already said this, Moxie, and I've already responded to it. FCB says the Chelsea guy had it as his picture. Oh, yeah, Chelsea, yeah. I didn't realize you were responding to him. Fair enough. Yeah, next time Chelsea says something, I will click it, and he's very excited for it. The user says rematch at SummerSlam. Seems very likely. That is a solid Rhea Ripley chant. The best reception she's had since she arrived on the main roster. Gura says her shirt nearly falling off at a live event. Didn't see it. And Matt says, I made a t-shirt that says, this is my brutality. Oh, I love it. I love it. And Thinkara says, do you remember Fandango? Of course I do. Of course I do. He was tremendous. He did that. Like a lot. Rhea Ripley is demanding a championship match. I'm feeling triple threat here. Of course, Ringside News are the ones sharing a wardrobe malfunction. Of course they are. Disagree, FCB. Fandango was hilarious. The fashion files were amazing. Nikki just did a twirl and nobody really knew how to respond to that. Nikki's promos are just really staggered, aren't they? For example, there, as your new Raw Women's Champion, it's a problem. Oh, Megatron! Welcome, mate. That is indeed my name. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you, man. Sorry, I just got very excited. That's Sonya Deville's music, but she's coming out as a GM. Can we get a Let's Go Sonya chant, please? Jesus Christ, she looks good. Props she kept trying to wrestle through the wardrobe malfunction. She's very dedicated. Michael says, who do you think comes out as champion after SummerSlam? I have a feeling that Nikki pins Rhea in a triple threat. We have confirmed a triple threat. I think Nikki probably does retain. That makes sense to me. Matt says, Vince doesn't like accents. Feel like they told Nikki to slow down so Americans can understand her. That's always been Nikki's style. That's always been her style. I think she spent most of her life being told she speaks far too quickly. I've interviewed her. She speaks very quickly. Megan says, what's to bet? She's been told to either slow down the promos or tone down the accent. There we go. Literally, as I was saying, I feel she's been told to slow down. No, thank you, Dean. I'm working tomorrow. Right, so we've got a triple threat at SummerSlam, but we also have Charlotte versus Nikki tonight. Nikki's winning that, right? Rhea's fine, just waiting for the triple threat, apparently. It all went quiet, and then Charlotte starts attacking Rhea. Nikki's waiting for an opportunity. The heels have come off. She always starts the attack before the heels come off. Ah, that's a bad dropkick. Just didn't get much momentum behind that, unfortunately. A good opening segment. Tells us what our main event is likely to be. Charlotte and Nikki. So Corey has just confirmed it's the main event. So Nikki Cross gets to main event a Raw. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Megan says, Glaswegians do talk quickly. All Scots do, to be fair. Very true. Very true. Damien Priest is talking at me. Noob welcome, says as always Charlotte Flair for a hissy fit. That is kind of her thing. FCB is saying, how old are you? I'm in my early 30s. And Michael says, Nikki opening and closing the show. Vince must really like her. Saying, it's a gimmick, man. Same gimmick that Braun Strowman was going to get. No, Nikki Bella is not Scottish, FCB. Damien Priest staking his claim to the United States Championship. Always a good thing. So, our United States Championship contenders match up next, right? So, Damien Priest has to beat Sheamus to get a chance against Sheamus. I'm not the angriest for it. Not the angriest. I don't know where Nikki Bella is from, FCB. If anyone does know where Nikki Bella is from, by all means, shout it out. Nikki Cross is Scottish. Moxie thinks Nikki is returning the title. I do believe that to be true, yes. And Megan says, Priest versus Sheamus, fine with that. Me too. Me too. You know it's going to be good. And it gives Damien Priest a new push, you know? Something new to sink his teeth into. He vanished for a while. He really did. The question, of course, is will Keith Lee be getting involved in the United States Championship again? I think they've moved on from that now. But he is now available again, of course. Maybe we'll see a rematch with Lashley tonight. I think he'd probably lose that as well. Maybe he'll take on Karrion Kross and beat him. Who can tell? Who can tell? Moxie, yes, it is indeed now break. Thank you for letting me know that. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. Noob says Charlotte needs to move on from the Raw Women's title picture. She doesn't really have anything else to do is the issue. Hunting championships is kind of her whole thing. She didn't really have anything else to do. BT Sport has crashed. Again. This is going to be terrible. Michael says Nikki Bella is from San Diego, Bill from Scottsdale, Arizona. There you go. There's your answer. Corey, hello, mate. How the devil are you? I hope you enjoyed SmackDown, by the way. We didn't really talk about it earlier because of work, but I hope you had a great time. Mark says, I was expecting Shayna and Nia to get involved. Not yet, it seems. Seems like they have something else to be doing. I'd imagine winning the tag team championships back, because everyone seems to have forgotten that Natalya and Tamina are a thing. Not for a bad reason, per se. I know, Corey, I did just say so, but I appreciate you clarifying. FCB says, I met The Miz. I have a selfie with him. That's cool. I have a few selfies with wrestlers. They're all pretty cool. They're all much bigger than me. And Matt says, Charlotte was in a feud with her dad and Lacey Evans. That's true. That's true. But to be fair, the one thing Charlotte has even more than chasing championships is being annoyed at her dad. Megan says, we do not speak of this uncomfortable ickness. It was a bit icky. Like, it was a bit icky. No arguing that point. Corey has redeemed a 24/7 championship win, taking it away from Megan, and Megan is going to lose that 24/7 championship. Falling foul of another small package, and before you know it, Corey MLB is our 24/7 champion again. Please do let me know if I miss any, by the way. Well, The Miz is lovely in real life. The Miz is absolutely lovely. Genuinely one of the best people you'll ever meet. Oh, advertising Suicide Squad. That's the deal. FCB says, other than Brock Lesnar, who would be the best wrestler in a fight? Bobby Lashley, no question. Aqua says, Sasha Banks is already scheduled for SummerSlam. If you have subscribed to my YouTube channel, Aqua, if you've subscribed to my YouTube channel, there was quite a few updates as to what the future holds for Sasha Banks. So I'll link you to the YouTube so that you can go check that out. And that's got all the information there. Mox says, I have a picture with Roman, Seth, and Sasha. You lucky bastard. Plenty of good stuff there. Kuro says, if Cena does have a retirement match, who do you see it being against? Roman Reigns. Makes the most sense for me. Mox says, should I go to SummerSlam for my birthday? Yes, always. Always. And Corey says, I opened your tab on YouTube and clicked like. Thank you, Corey. I really do appreciate that. That's a huge help to making the channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. If anyone else would like to do that, please do consider it. It's a great help in the growth of the channel. The more likes we get, the more videos get advertised, the more likely people are to find the watch party on YouTube and click subscribe as well. Megan says, a bit. Ricky's over twice Lacey's age, literally old enough to be a grandfather, let alone her father. Well, that is very, very true. It's also true that society has kind of normalized older men and younger women. Even sometimes that badly. Hamas says, is Sheamus doing a flasher gimmick? He's very much celebrating the fact that he has the jacket. Thank you for reminding me, Sin Cara. I'm on it right now as we speak. So there's an un-VIP for Corey MLB. Loses his opportunity, and it's a new VIP for a brand new 24/7 champion in Sin Cara 2011. Brand new champion. We had a war early. We'll see if we get another one of those. Ed says, to be fair, Megan, my folks had nearly 30 years difference. That's a pretty big difference. That's cool, Moxie. You go right ahead and you do that. Stick them in the Discord, where we definitely share. It's where Corey shared quite a bit as well. That's good to hear, Dean. We'll make sure to wish you a happy birthday. Corey says, it was a good show on Friday. Excited for Finn Balor versus Roman Reigns. That should be fun. Whenever we get it, that should be fun. Currently on Raw, we have Sheamus versus Damian Priest as our opening match. Honestly, good opening match. You know, it's brand new. It's a new and rising star, and it's a veteran as well. The veteran champion and new rising star. This should be all we really need to get us going and hyped. Kura says, do you know if you're going to be doing a stream for SummerSlam at this point? Yes, I will 100% be doing a stream for SummerSlam. 100%. And Sin Cara has boldly said, as regards to 24/7 championship, no one is taking it from me. Well, it's not exactly that many channel points to take it, so it's a bold claim, Sin Cara. A bold claim. Thank you, mycologist. Appreciate that. Megan is saying to her, there's 10 years between my parents. Age differences are fine, but for me personally, I draw the line with the gap being 35 plus years. That's too big a gap for me. If I think to the difference in age between my parents, it's about 20 years. About 20 years. We had some rapid changes there. Briefly, that Matt was a 24/7 champion, and now Michael Latina is a 24/7 champion. So that is an un-VIP for Sin Cara 2011. And that is a VIP for Latina 8737. And we're all set Just like that, with new diamonds. Just like that, we also have a commercial break. Good to hear, the user. Hopefully it stays fixed and doesn't screw up anymore for you. Kura says, great, I'll actually be in the audience so I can chat about how the crowd's reacting. That'd be nice. That'd be very helpful. Thank you. Michael just shouting, roll up for the win. And that Matt unfortunately fell for the provocation. Moxie says, Tom, if I don't go to SummerSlam, can I join you on stream for a watch along? Depends what you mean on stream. You cannot join me on this, Moxie. I'm very selective with who actually joins on stream. My BT Sport has crashed again. Because essentially, one small mistake and you could end my career. You could literally end my career. So I'm very careful who actually comes onto the stream. Fair enough, Sinkara. The user says, I can see the chat, but not Tom. Interesting. Don't know why. I think you might be having connection issues, the user. Fair enough, Moxie. That's quite a few championship reigns that you could have. Corey says, I was 5 rows back from the superstars. You got some damn good seats there. Jermaine is here saying, hi, Tom. I had called it before Money in the Bank, but we are getting a triple threat match at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's title between Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki Ash. We are, and I'm excited for it. I think that's the important thing. I don't worry too much about who calls what. I worry most about, are we hyped? Are we excited? Do we want to see a triple threat? And I do. This is very good for Nikki. She's been added to the top feud, basically, and it works. You know, it's really what we need. When you're trying to make new stars, as the plan is with Nikki and with Big E, you need to treat them like stars. They need to fight the top people. Moxie says, do you think Damian is winning the US title? Right now, no. SummerSlam, yes. Dean says, I'm actually going to SummerSlam. Watch your live stream. So you're going to go to SummerSlam and watch the live stream? I mean, Corey did that. That'd be very cool. I would appreciate it. I hope you enjoy SummerSlam. That's the important thing. Bear with me 1 second. I think I'm good. The user says, Tom, what is your honest opinion on the new stage? It's bland. It's a bit dull. I just want more from it. Kura says, I'd rather replace Charlotte in the triple threat with someone else. If you didn't have Charlotte, it would have less drawing potential, it would have less star power, and it would mean less to the other individuals in the match. Charlotte does elevate every match she's in. There's no denying. Pardon me, there's no denying it. Get to Tables is here, saying, I'm scared after SummerSlam we won't see her anymore. It's a valid fear. It's genuinely a valid fear. I think it's very possible that Nikki Cross essentially takes the pin and Rhea Ripley reclaims the championship and then we all move on. It's very possible that this is just a tester. Nikki Cross needs to prove that she's the right candidate before SummerSlam. She needs to prove it by then. Also, Get the Tables, I believe you reached, correct me if I'm wrong, 1.7 thousand followers on Twitch. Can I just say a massive congratulations to you for that? That is a hell of an achievement. I am very, very jealous with my little 268 here, and I'm coming for you. It may take me a while, but I'm coming for you. Congratulations, mate. Genuinely couldn't happen to a nicer guy. You've earned it. Corey says, I was in here watching SmackDown Live on Friday. You were doing both, and I appreciate that. Megan says, Nikki's someone different, so it's good. Would I prefer it to be a dark, twisted sister character, wrecking everyone and everything? Of course. But I'll take this for the sake of just having something different. Nikki Cross has had to transform herself a lot. Like a lot. I don't see them ever doing that, Sinkara. My live streams will not be on the TV inside. It's literally just my face. And I don't think many people really want to see that. I am always tremendously grateful that you guys aren't so massively repulsed that you're running away. But I don't think the rest of the world is always going to be the ones agreeing. Moxie says, who do you see winning the title? Depends which title. Do you mean the US or do you mean the women's? Michael says, do you think Charlotte goes up against Becky after SummerSlam? Seems like with the way she has acted and talked about Becky. The fans forced her to talk about Becky by chanting, we want Becky during a Charlotte Flair match. Oh, the face mask came off. Sheamus is exposed. That was good. Didn't look too forced. So I don't know if it'll be Charlotte Becky, but I do believe Becky is returning just after SummerSlam. The user says, who do you think will win the Raw Women's title match tonight? I don't know if it's actually a title match, but I think Nikki Cross will be coming away with the gold. Get the Table says, thank you very much. You just started. Be there in no time with the great content you put out. Thank you. I do appreciate the support you've given. And I really do appreciate that. Hopefully at some point we can do that Saturday show you were talking about. That'd be great. I would. Did Sheamus just walk the top rope? Can I say that's incredible? This is a really fun match so far. Courier says, my biggest fear currently is that they removed some of Charlotte's title wins to give her a few quick wins against a tougher on new competitor. They would have just given her the championship wins anyway, is the thing. She will be the one to overtake Ric Flair's record. That's not news. To prove I don't think it's to prove a point. I think that they do believe there is logical reasons to give Charlotte this many title wins. And by some extension, there are. Drew McIntyre will be facing Veer tonight and probably beating the shit out of him with a chair. Mug says, Tom, I'm going to tell everyone on Twitch to come and join this amazing stream. I'd imagine you mean Twitter because you've done that before. I appreciate that. Thank you, J-Dub, for subscribing for the 5th month in a row. Welcome, J-Dub. It's been a little while, mate. You all right? Catch us up, mate. How you doing? Or lurk. Also cool if you want to lurk. Don't you worry. The user says they should have SummerSlam in cinemas in the UK. That depends on UK cinemas. If they can get a deal done, I'm sure they will. Cheers, Sin Cara. I'm sure it'll go down really well. Corey says it's a Raw Championship match. I just checked on their official Twitter. I still think Nikki's going to come away with the championship. Moxie, you did ask that. GTA 5 is an option one day, but would have to wait and see as to what actually happens with that. It's an option for like a playing with viewers sort of thing. Like it's an option for playing with viewers. But again, it depends. I'm not committing to anything. The user says Jinder versus McIntyre in a Punjabi prison match at SummerSlam. I don't want it, but it could happen. This match is getting very good. I do believe Damian Priest is going to win it. Sheamus has really delivered, basically since returning. Lovely knee. Lovely knee. J-Dub says, I'm good. Been busy. I was here Friday night in strict lurk mode. Fair enough, J-Dub. You know I love a lurker. Glad to hear you're all right, mate. Glad to see you. Hope Raw is enjoyable. So far, honestly, it's been all right. Omegatron says, good to see Priest on my TV. This is going to be something of a push, and I like it. It's a good start, you know? Damian Priest is escaping from the beats. Good kick. Solid kick. Sin Cara says, do you think you would be good as a WWE commentator? Wrestling commentator, yes. WWE, no. I can't talk while I'm being spoken to. Damian Priest has picked up the win over Sheamus. Nearly rolled out of his own pinfall attempt there. But he's picked up the win. Which means we will get Priest versus Sheamus. Not necessarily guaranteed at SummerSlam, but I think it's most likely to be at SummerSlam. I think he'll be taking the championship. A really good match, though. A really, really good match. Sheamus puts over Damian Priest, but continues. What's the run of his life for Sheamus? He's earning a lot of respect right now. Kuro, there is no Becky. The triple threat. There is no triple threat match tonight. There is a triple threat title match at SummerSlam between Nikki, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley. Whereas tonight in the main event, Charlotte will face Nikki regardless with no Rhea Ripley involved. Jacob says, this ref always looks like he's watching his first wrestling match. He is like really wide-eyed. I like it when the refs are involved, but maybe not too much. There is such a thing as too much. I think we all know who I'm talking about. Cora says, do I have to have your sound on YouTube to count as a view watch? No, you do not. Just having it open in a tab, even if it's muted, even if you're not watching it, counts as a view and gives me watch time. It's one of those things. If you open a tab and mute it of like this watch party tomorrow, I get 3 hours of watch time. That's how YouTube works. Noob says, boy, I feel bad for Sheamus after this match. I don't. He's doing a lot of favors and doing a lot of good for a lot of people. Connected People Through Wrestling is here. Welcome, says good vibes. Tom, thank you and good vibes to you, sir. You're always bringing positive energy, and I appreciate that. The user says deserved win. No arguing that point. Sin Cara says, will John Cena fight before SummerSlam? Possibly. He has technically already wrestled, but not in front of the cameras. I think it's likely he will wrestle in front of cameras, but I don't think it's definite. Thank you, Moxie. Appreciate that. Megan says, plus point of no retribution. Priest finisher is called The Reckoning again. Downside, Mia Yim's off TV still. I did laugh at that when it first became clear. They called it Hit the Lights, didn't they, to hide the fact that Mia Yim was called Reckoning. Glad they can call it. Watch party tomorrow. What's happening? What's happening tomorrow, Corey? I meant like watching one in the recorded videos. That's what I'm thinking. Jermaine says, wow, Tom, did you hear WWE called it Damian Priest finisher The Reckoning? Guess Mia Yim is not using that name anymore. Yes, that does confirm that Mia Yim will no longer be using that name, and that's a very good thing. The user says, it's a shame about Jeff Hardy. It really is. It really is a shame about Jeff Hardy. But if you aren't watching Spoiler Warning earlier today, which is a new show I do on Twitch, it's 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST. Spoiler warning, I did share a lot of information. One, about Jeff Hardy and the COVID positive test. And two, about what was planned for his feud with Karrion Kross. Those videos will be going live on YouTube tomorrow and the next day as well. So it is a shame. Connecting People says, Wade Keller needs to at you when he shares your stuff. Damn right he does. Damn right he does. To be fair, anything involving anything involving Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure, we are at least all in on the joke, but it's such good fun. It is such good fun. If anybody has been able to listen to Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure with myself and my PW Torch colleague Nick Barbati, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We basically just destroy each other for a podcast for about an hour. It's great. Moxie says, thank you for giving us the best content you could. I do try. I spend a lot of time planning these streams, not the watch parties, because ultimately we have Raw and we have plenty of people chatting. But for example, spoiler warning, there is a lot of scripting that goes into that. A lot of scripting. And there was a lot of planning that went into the Last of Us playthrough that we completed on Sunday. For anyone who wasn't aware, on Sunday, so yesterday, I streamed for 12 and a half hours, playing the entirety of the game The Last of Us in a single sitting. A single sitting. As a thank you for reaching 250 followers on Twitch. We are now sat at 268 followers on Twitch, which means we continue to grow. Sinkara says, do you watch the Olympics? I've been asked this question so many times. Yes and no. I watch certain events, namely curling, judo and the like, but not all of them. So sometimes. Noob says Hit the Lights is a dumb name for a finisher. Ed disagrees. Says I really like Hit the Lights as a finisher name. It's not the worst. I personally am not a fan. I just think Reckoning is better. Connecting People says I'll be ringside, super visible in Tulsa for SmackDown. Should I bring a new sign? Yes, you should. I remember your sign very keenly. Whenever it pops up, I think, oh, I know that guy, because of the lovely frame. It's very nice. We've been getting a lot of recaps on WWE TV over the last few weeks. We've had a recap of Omos and AJ Styles winning the Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, leading into what's going to be our next match against the Viking Raiders. This should be a lot of fun. Do we, Ed? Do we? I am planning to have Nick on for a preview show for SummerSlam. I just need to find the right time to do it. So we will see more Nick Barbati. Corey says, I got to find the channel. Are they going to be on tomorrow's Sci-Fi because they're showing the Olympics on USA? I don't know who's going to be on Sci-Fi. Do you mean NXT? Not too much going on in NXT. I believe we're getting a women's tag team title match. And there's plenty of tag teams there. That's cool. Jake says it's going to be so weird watching TakeOver on a Sunday plus after SummerSlam. Yeah, they've swapped, haven't they? They've swapped. And it's so confusing. Just makes no sense. Also, welcome, Jake. How you doing, mate? Canadian People says, I played The Last of Us. I beat it. I need to get the second one. We will be playing the second one on stream, probably on Sundays. But it's one of those. I'm not doing that in a single sitting. The Last of Us in a single sitting was exhilarating, but it took it out of me. I only played the first one because of the reception the second one got. Second one got a very mixed reception. And Connecting People says Hit the Lights is great. So very mixed perceptions of that. Megan says it's a good name, but I don't think it fit with Priest's presentation. Yeah, it's not very metal. Now, obviously, it is quite metal, but it's not very metal. The user says, do you think the rumors are true about CM Punk and Daniel Bryan? No, I refuse to believe them because I refuse to believe that CM Punk will come back to wrestling. I'll believe it if I see it, basically. I'll believe it if I see it. Ed says, are we doing an NXT watch-along podcast barely covering NXT? NXT 38? Is it TakeOver 38? Is that what it is? I don't know what you mean by 38. We're not doing one tomorrow. Moxie says, when you ask Tom a question, you add the head of the table of tribal shit. I don't know what you mean there, Moxie. Please, could you clarify? The user says WWE should bring back Mauro Ranallo. They've tried to several times. Mauro Ranallo does not want to return. That was a hell of a kick. Ivar just cleaned out AJ Styles. That's their finisher. That's their finisher. Too close to the ropes. Too close to the ropes. You had me for a moment there. They are trying to keep Omos on the outside, which is correct. It's definitely correct. Absolutely not, Sin Cara. It's all available on Twitch. You can just watch it on catch up. The user says, is SummerSlam on a Sunday now? No, SummerSlam is on a Saturday. NXT TakeOver is on a Sunday. Yes, for TakeOver. Got it. We will do a TakeOver watch party. We will 100% do a TakeOver watch party. Ed, you are of course more than welcome to join because I do love our NXT watch parties. When we barely even focus on the actual wrestling. At least when it's a takeover, we're not talking over any promos. You know? It's a good thing. Well, I don't look as good as Roman, though, do I? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So we have another commercial break. We are 15 minutes away from the end of the first hour. And to be honest, good start. You know? Good start. I have to give it credit. It's a good start. We've been given 2 matches so far. 2 matches so far. First one, Damian Priest and Sheamus, was really very exciting. Now we've got AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. They were pretty good at Money in the Bank. So this should definitely go the distance. At the same time, last week, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley should have been great. Kind of wasn't. Kuro, I'm honestly not sure. If anyone can answer that question, I'd be grateful. I don't think TakeOver is in the same stadium, but I can't guarantee it. Megan says, as regards Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, I'll believe what I've seen. Punk will be wrestling on TV in the new show Heels, but that's it. Fair enough. Bailey says, where should Mauro Ranallo go if there is too much stress for him in WWE? Wherever the hell he wants. Because nowhere else is as stressful as the WWE. Disagree, Sin Cara. Appreciate it regardless. Moxie. I don't know. I don't like the look of that belt. The user says, are you a fan of SummerSlam's theme up? I've not really heard it because I'm usually talking while listening. Thank you guys for clarifying. Ed saying TakeOver is at the CWC. I'm going to get a drink very shortly when it comes to the first hour draw segment because a lot of my body has just gone very, very dry. I'm very, very dry. So I think I need to top up my drink. Thank you, Moxie, Sin Cara, and Corey for all confirming that one as well. Noob says Mauro will do well in Impact Wrestling. Is he there full time? I believe he was only there for the one show. Please do let me know if I'm wrong. I don't really watch Impact. Chris says it makes sense because off-season football training is Sunday for the Raiders. Oh, in the stadium. Okay. Is that their stadium? I don't know American football teams. So I wouldn't know that one, but is that them? As a reminder, if you are currently watching on YouTube, please do remember to click the like button. It makes a big difference to the growth of the channel. It literally gets me new subscribers. You may have subscribed, but if you click like, that might mean that someone else finds it, joins us, and helps with a subscription themselves. So please, if you haven't already, click like on the video, little thumbs up right underneath it, I'd very much appreciate it. And if you haven't already, you can also join us over on Twitch, where we do extra shows. We only currently do the Raw and SmackDown watch parties over on YouTube. You get plenty of videos there. But also, if you pop over to the Twitch and click follow there, you'll get a notification for Spoiler Warning on Mondays and Fridays, which is our wrestling news show. We have a lot of exclusive news that you can't find anywhere else right here on Twitch and only on Twitch. And then that gets broken down into YouTube videos over the course of the week, but not everything gets broken down. So please do consider sending me a follow on Twitch as well. AJ just got cleaned the hell out. Corey confirming, yes, it is the Raiders and Chargers Stadium for football. That is cool. The user says, do you think Kenny Omega will go to any other promotions for their titles? Yes. I think at some point Kenny will return to New Japan and try and compete for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. I just don't necessarily think he'll do it soon. No comment, Moxie. I'm not going to be competitive like that. I know who I like, but I don't know who is objectively better looking per se. Styles is getting a little bit more competitive. So far, he's just been beat up a lot. Gone for the phenomenal forearm. Ivar cartwheels out the way and hits the clothesline. Very nice. Very nice. AJ Styles very nearly over-brothered. Very nearly over-brothered there. Sin Cara, I respect your opinion. But for me, I like who I like, and I'm sure you like who you like. Kuro says, is Jay White holding a New Japan Pro Wrestling title? I don't think so right now, but Jay White will hold championships in the future. It's Jay White. He is literally the best wrestler wrestling today, in my opinion. I still think AJ Styles is the best in the world, but if I was going to build a wrestler from the ground up, it'd be Jay White. Ah, yes, it is a never open weight, isn't it? Yeah, thank you, Ed. Thank you for reminding me. He is, in fact, the never open weight champion at the moment. That belt has been for a lot of people recently. Shingo was the champion for a little while. Minoru Suzuki was the champion for a while. I didn't realize Jay White had taken it, but I suppose that freed up freed up Shingo Takagi for the top belt, which I still can't quite believe. Very pleasantly surprised by that one. He's earned it. He's really earned it. Ivar is trying to distract Otis, while Eric is trying to finish off AJ. There is a kid in the front row who is genuinely trying to send signals to Omos to help AJ. She don't want the Viking Raiders to win. She wants AJ Styles to win. Gura says if he's holding the never open weight for Bound for Glory in October, will be Kenny's return to New Japan for a bit. I don't necessarily think so. We'll see, but I don't necessarily think so. I think Kenny's going to be there for Wrestle Kingdom. That's what I think. Kenny and Moxley. And then you might get a trade the other way later on in the year for AEW pay-per-views. Omos is now in. He's picked up Eric and he's just walking around with him. Good power. Decent slam. Like, you can do a bad slam. It is a thing. Omos now going for both Viking Raiders solo. He screams a lot, which with some people is annoying, but with him, I get it. It says Kenny might start losing those titles in the next month or so. Makes sense. Some people and some companies, they need their titles back. They really do. Noom says, I know what game you're going to be streaming after Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's God of War. You are completely wrong. I've never played God of War. I don't own God of War, and I don't plan on playing God of War. I appreciate the guess, but you are not correct. Kuro says, Bound for Glory has AAA, New Japan, AEW, and Impact. Only reason that was my guess, which is fair. They have a lot of stuff going on there. And I'm sure that'll be a good thing for them. But everyone needs a benefit. At this point, Impact is finally getting some benefit themselves. Springboard 450. And that's a free. He doesn't have to win with that one. Solid match. Not particularly impressive from a wrestling standpoint. But emotionally, definitely created a few moments that made me think. The user said, who did Omos play before? He was the guard for Raw Underground, and he was a big ninja. Currently, Omega is scheduled to face Andrade at Triple Mania soon for the Mega Championship. I do feel he might lose that one, personally. I do feel he might lose that one. Could stream GTA Online on PC and work for me and my empire. I do not have GTA for PC. I do have GTA for PS4. So, that is something that I'm considering. Moxie has suggested it as well. I do have the game, but I think it'd be best if we got a group of us, went to a private server and started from scratch. I think that would be a really fun way of doing it. You know? I think that'd be great fun. And then we could have a combined empire. We could all be rich. Could all be rich. And then, like, Megan, I don't know how comfortable you would be with this, but you could connect on Discord and have your audio on the stream. That is true, Megan. That is true. PC players cannot be trusted. They all constantly hack. But yeah, honestly, at this point, I would like to start again on a closed server. I don't want to go into GTA and everyone's got those flying motorbikes with missiles. It ruins it for me that I'll just be walking around and then I'm exploded. It's no fun. That is true, Sinkara. If everyone stopped playing GTA 5, they would release GTA 6, but GTA 5 is still so fun. Corey says, for me, in a perfect world, Kenny gets called out for being a belt collector by the actual belt collector and TNA Impact founder Jeff Jarrett. That would be awful, Kuro. Noob says that image of Drew getting dragged by Via and Shanky. The image that I'll always remember is the battering of the chair. It's not the strongest response for Drew, but it's not a negative either. I think the fact that McIntyre is feuding with Mahal and not feuding over the championship right now has steadied the ship. It stopped people from booing him. Drew McIntyre, of course, is going to be our second hour draw segment. He's now got a big rock to put his sword into. It's cheesy. Megan says, I just go about my business, working hard, making an honest living for my character's money, sometimes with helicopters and RPGs. I think that's fair. You've made an honest living. You've sold no drugs. You've killed no people. You're a businesswoman. You know? Jadeb says, I feel like those chair shots fall into the category of overkill. When I saw Shanky's back, I kind of agree with you. And Cora says, no, not for a match with Jeff Jarrett. I mean, Jeff calls him out, sets up a match with an opponent of Jeff's choosing. I don't know who that would be, though. Jeff's not really got the connections anymore. Yeah. Noob says we're going to get a Punjabi prison match at SummerSlam. I don't want it. I also kind of do. Jermaine says, I like Omos. I just don't think he's ready for one-on-one action yet. I think it will be too early to split him up from AJ. I agree with that, and I don't think they're going to. Oof. Okay. As I mentioned, I'm going to pop and get a drink. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to stick an add-on on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, you'll just get my my normal page. I'll return very shortly. So please don't go anywhere, and I will see you for more Raw in just a couple of minutes. And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Hello. Greetings. How the devil is everyone? I am your host, Tom Colligue. We are currently watching WWE Raw. We are just starting our second hour. I went to get a drink. Pardon me. Have a little burp. And now I'm back. Let me catch up. Megan says they've given Drew a stone of destiny to give him a bigger target to not break Vince's sword in. Probably true. Probably true. He's been jamming it in there pretty hard. Moxie is hoping that Arcade Bro are the next tag team champions. I think that's likely. Ed says if it's belt collectors, it should be Ultimo Dragon. I mean, I wouldn't be against that. That'd be a lot of fun. Corey said, I can confirm to you guys December 10th, Friday, December 10th. Friday Night SmackDown will be returning to the Chill Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Was confirmed on all the boards in Cleveland. Looked at it when I got home. It's December 10th. Cool. Fair enough. Thank you very much for sharing that, Corey. I've not gone. I do see that my viewership did drop a little bit, but I was just taking a quick break to get myself a drink. Some of these streams can be very, very long. And my BT Sports crashed. Some of these streams can be very, very long, and sometimes I need a new drink in the middle of them. I'm not as prepared right now as I was for the 12.5-hour stream. I don't have like drink after drink after drink after drink on the floor, just ready in case I need them. So yeah, I take little breaks. Megan says, Shane is tweeting about her and Nikki facing each other and now I want it. Me too. My hope was the fatal four-way, so Charlotte versus Rhea versus Shayna versus Nia, with the winner, Shayna, taking on Nikki. That would have been great. That would have been great. Cora says, hey Tom, how hot it is for you? It's 17 degrees C, which is roughly 64 degrees F. So it's surely not bad. It's certainly a lot better than it was. There was a point where it was 29 degrees in the evening, which once again is about 90 degrees F. Jinder's doing all the talking. Drew's getting all the crowd interaction. He's so happy to have a crowd back. Look at him. Look how happy he is. The crowd don't want Drew to apologize. Wow, Kuro. That's bad. I mean, the steak would be lovely. I like how he sweetened the pot there as well. Should I buy him a steak dinner? The thumb down is nice. The crowd have gone for it. Mahal is slowing Veer down a little bit. He's trying to get a chant going. Straight away, crowd run to that. Straight away, the crowd run to that. That is the power of Drew McIntyre. He connects. People ain't booing this guy. Not now, anyway. We know Veer has no chance, but I think Drew will still give him something to work with. It won't be a squash. He'll give him something to work with. Cool, the user. Please remember it. You would need to come over to Twitch and, in fact, our Discord as well. But we can certainly work something out. And my BT Sports already crashed again. Fantastic. Megan says 13/55F. Cooler but not cool enough because the humidity is a bigger bit. Oh, you brutalize yourself. Kura says hot enough they're advising people not to cook at home. Wow, that's bad. Michael just says, how are you? I'm pretty good, thank you. Bit warm. My skin's getting a bit dry. And my BT Sport keeps crashing. Those are all the negatives. But there's plenty of positives. Good crowd. decent wrestling show so far. Sorry, there's a problem. I have too many live streams running at the same time. I have one. It's like it knows about you. Nope, it's just not. It's not working. It's getting real bad. Like real bad. Worst comes to worst, I can still watch it on this laptop. Just open the network. Well, I can't open the network. Just open BT on laptop. Watch on my phone. I have options. But right now, I'm not watching anything. It's not working. So I've closed it again. Opened it again. Seems like it's working now. It's not working now. Okay, we're going for the laptop. Why aren't you working? I'm just going to restart the PS4. Just the whole damn thing. Meanwhile, let's get BT up on here. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. Possibly the user, but it's a fairly common chant. It's fairly common, particularly in the UK. So I don't think he really has the right to it. Right, what's it on? BT Sport 1 or? No, Moxie, I do not think Drew's losing to Jinder at SummerSlam. I think it's possible. I think Drew will want to lose to Jinder. I just don't think he will. Cora says, I stupidly decided today was steak day, and I bacon wrapped steaks in the oven in the heat. I mean, you say that's stupid, but at the end of the day, you're going to get a bacon wrapped steak. So I consider you the winner there. Let's be honest. That's a pretty big win, if you ask me. Right. BT Sport. Let's try this one last time before I end up on watching on this side. Because I can always take it and drag it over there and connect it, but my TV is connected to my laptop. But when I do that, I always end up considerably further behind than everybody else. I'm going to try this one last time. I don't have multiple live streams open. Drew won. Did Drew win? Drew won. Okay, so it worked out. I came in just at the end, just at the death of it. Megan says, how did I not know that there's a movie about a part of Veers? Is there? Interesting. Ed's on the way out. Thank you very much for joining us, Ed. Have a great night, mate. News says, who beat Mahal for the WWE Championship again? That was AJ Styles. AJ Styles took the championship from Jinder and was successfully defended against Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, etc. Oh, the lawyer's been left behind. It's not his fault, Drew. It's not his fault. They're trying to get the chant going again. Drew's just going to beat him up. Straight through. It's counting down. And a little Austin salute there as well. Very nice. And that'll be all that Drew does tonight, which is perfect. Just continuing their feud ever so slightly. Nothing too unnecessary. This is very good for Drew McIntyre. Very good use of him. $1 Million Arm by him and Dinesh Patel during their time as baseball players. John Hamm's in it. Wow. Oh, good times. Watched Baby Driver recently. That was an incredible film. Meg says, we're trying to remember which one of Indus share spoiled NXT and found it. Cool. My BT Sport's already crashed again. I don't know what's going on, but it just does not work at this point. The PS4's not even going nuts, so it's not an overheating issue. It's BT Sport, specifically. It's just absolutely terrible. If it crashes again, I'm going to have to try and update it. I don't know if it'll help, but I'm going to try. Getting a bit warm now. I think it's the light. Okay. Raw's about to get bad, isn't it? I like Alexa Bliss. Don't like this Alexa Bliss. Eva Marie and Doudrop are ready to go out and wrestle. Okay, so they're going for the tag team titles. J-Dub accurately saying hour 2 usually sucks. Hour 2 is usually the rough one. The first 70 minutes have been very good. But yeah, hour 2 is usually when it draws to an end. Not the strongest reaction for Eva Marie. I expected a little bit more. Again, a contenders match. Is everything a contenders match tonight? Gura says Doudrop getting ready to wrestle. Both of them, really. We'll see what happens with Eva Marie. I think she's fixed her gear so that it doesn't lean forwards. Yep, a contenders match with Natalya and Tamina. Can they keep up the good work they've done so far? That's the question, and I'm not sure of the answer. They should be able to, but historically, they've not been the most reliable. They're showing an NXT commercial featuring Karrion Kross. I think the big difference between this week and last week is that Jackson Riker hasn't been on TV yet. It's that simple. Jackson Riker ground last week to a halt. No sign of him as of yet. Megan says, I'm just waiting for Piper to turn on Eva and yeet her into a screen or Barrett. I think we're all waiting on that. I think they've made it clear that that's going to happen. We don't know when, but they've made it clear that it's going to happen. They've given us just enough hints so that we know. We know. What did I curse? What did I jinx? What have I done, guys? What have I done? What have I done? I mentioned I did, didn't I? I have regrets. It's okay. We're going to get Alexa Bliss now. That's what it's all about. Alexa Bliss is going to scare Eva Marie Vidal. Doudrop will probably still win. Probably just beat them both. Vince's new favorite word. So we're comparing him to Voldemort now. He who must not be named. Is that what we're going for now? He who must not be named. I can't argue. You're right. You're right. So we're approaching halfway through Raw. I realized I had a moment where I was just watching a commercial, and I apologize for that. We're approaching halfway through Raw. And yeah, I do think Raw so far has been a good show. We know what's coming so far in small parts. We know that Bobby Lashley is going to be there. And so far, last few weeks, he's been particularly good. We know that our main event is going to be Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Cross, which again should be quite good. So we've got some good moments coming. At the minute, we have a Women's Tag Team Championship contender match, which it runs the risk of losing its way, particularly when we know that Alexa Bliss is going to be involved. But there's a while yet before we get to the end of the second hour. So there's plenty more moments to fill. How do we go about that? What's left that could fill those moments? Who hasn't already had something? Reginald hasn't had something. He's a 24/7 champion now, of course. We also have what's going on with Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Will be more happening there, I'm sure. And yes, we do have He Who Must Not Be Named. Megan says, no, Voldemort was open about his bigotry. The one is trying to make people forget by being a bargain basement Batista. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Kura says, the wrestler with the beard who shall not be named is like Beetlejuice. If his name 3 times he appears. I thought that was Shane McMahon. And welcome to the stream. Pachara13 says, how did Drew win by disqualification when the chair was never used? I'm not sure, to be completely honest, because ultimately my BT Sport was crashing at the time. So all I know is that there was a Claymore. Sometimes referees just get trigger happy. Also, sometimes WWE storytelling just does not make sense. Sometimes it just does not make sense. Eva and Doudrop are just bopping a little bit in the ring. Apparently they're very happy with their theme. We're getting recaps of the vignettes of Eva Marie. I don't feel we need recaps of the vignettes. But the WWE does believe that they will be bringing back lapsed fans now that they have fans back in arenas. So far, it's kind of proven true. Fans have returned, but it's mostly in the build to SummerSlam. So they're just reminding us of what we've missed, if we've missed it. Okay, Natalya and Tamina are coming down. The champions have to be beaten for a championship title shot. So I'd imagine they're going to lose again. I'm confident there'll be an Alexa Bliss. I'm confident the doll will be somewhere. And we'll see how it goes from there. Jake says, do you think Drew versus Jinder will have a stipulation? Not yet. I think this one's going to go a couple of months. I think the first match will be one clean as a wrestling match by Drew. And then after that, we'll probably build up to something like a Punjabi Prison match. It's Jinder's specialty, isn't it? Remember Great Khali? Do you remember? And when Great Khali came down to help Jinder Mahal and then everyone forgot he existed afterwards. Crashed again. This is genuinely getting unwatchable at this point. Let's see if we can update it. I'm going to close it. I'm going to check for update just in case there's something I've done wrong. Installed application is the latest version. Okay, so it's just shit. That's the situation we're in. The PS4 app for BT Sport is absolute shit. It's not like it's even been watched that much. It's 2 a.m. Ugh. Bailey says the Piper Niven call-up has been underwhelming thus far. She beat Asuka, she beat Naomi, she beat Asuka and Naomi. Her storyline's not great, but she's beating the hell out of everyone. So swings and roundabouts. And Kura says, Punjabi Prison, I can't see what's going on match. Do you remember the last time we had that when it was between Randy and Jinder and everyone was chanting trust the process? That was a wall of shit, wasn't it? I've met Piper a couple of times. Back in PCW, I've interviewed her for NXT UK. Very talented woman. And she is already actively proving it. Natalya seems to be calling this one in the ring. Dominic, unfortunately, I can't have the music on top during YouTube streams. I can during Twitch streams. And in fact, I do. So that might be something you consider. West Virginia's a way away, but I'll certainly keep that in mind. I appreciate the invite. Right, Tamina's now in. So we're expecting a matchup of the two big powerhouses. Eva Marie's trying to encourage Doudrop. There's a runner just run around ringside. Something's going on. Something's going on at ringside. Did Natalya take a hit? Is Natalya all right? Something's happening outside. A crossbody is what she's used as a finisher. I think they're calling an audible and going to the finish. Kura says, I remember when a fridge technically won the title. I don't remember it winning a title. I remember it beating Randy Orton up in a Firefly Funhouse match. They have rushed to the finish. Come on, Don. Whereabouts, Megan? At the front? Oh, at the back. No, I see it. You're right. That's split right in half. Good thing she's taped up on the front. Because that's broken wide open. She's aware of it. When she took the kick, she went down. She was careful. Tamina picks up the win. A super kick on Eva Marie and a pin after she was distracted by Lily. Natalya's definitely hurt. Might just be a twisted ankle. Yeah. I think they rushed that one. Natalya's hurt. And heading to the back. Aya Piper, she's winning. This is maybe a bad storyline too. Yeah, I don't think the storyline's great, but she is picking up wins and big ones as well. Jacob says, MGF's best friend's cousin verified that Toni Storm was originally supposed to come to SmackDown as Baron Corbin's extra happy sister, Karen Corbin. I expected that to go a different direction when I saw Karen. I thought she'd just be grumpy and really wants to speak to your manager. That would be a whole thing. She just really wants to speak to Vince McMahon, but she's never allowed to. BT Sports crashed again. I don't know how to improve it. I don't know how to improve it. But imagine a world where we get a Karen Corbin. Good times. Kura says it was a compound. I never watched the compound match. I can't remember why. I just didn't. No, you're definitely thinking that wrong. Randy Orton was not present in the compound match. The compound match was New Day. Randy Orton was only there for the Firefly Funhouse match. At this point, I'm very close to giving up and just watching it on the laptop. I'll be behind, but I'll be able to watch it. Whereas now I'm missing huge chunks. Fuck it. I'm doing it. That's going off. Swapping over. Bear with me while logging again. Because I'm sick of wasting my time. Completely sick of it now. BT Sport is just utter shit. Let's move it over here. I'm going to have to switch this to over here because if I actually play the audio, I can get a DMCA. So you'll just bear with me. I'm guessing, judging by the chat, Karrion Kross is about to take on Keith Lee. If that's the case, there's going to be no winners here, is there? Just two losers, regardless of the result. The BT Sport player is loading slowly. Very nervous. I don't think it's going to work. Okay, we got it. I'm on commercial break at the... Don't load. I'm on commercial break at the minute, but it's definitely behind. And I can see my stream slowing down. Just work. It shouldn't be this difficult. Megan says, I'm happy to see Cross versus Lee, but I'm not happy to be seeing it on Raw. I get you. I completely get that. Especially when you consider this is officially their rematch. Megan says, oh dear, the comments on WWE's Lily Lucian tweet are not kind. That's not good, is it? That's not good at all. This isn't going to work. I actually have to go back to the BT Sport app on the PS4. It's just constantly buffering. It's just buffer. I must be about 3 minutes behind now. I'm going to have to suffer it. The only alternative now is doing it on my phone, but then I can't see channel points, so I have to turn off channel points. And I'll probably still be behind. Why is BT just this absolutely shit? And it's been getting worse every single week. The app's updated. Good question. Very good question. The problem is very much the BT Sport app on the PS4. Also more likely to just be the BT Sport app because it also doesn't work on the laptop. BT Sport just doesn't work. Megan says BT Sport better not be the new Peacock. Who knows? Who knows? Just the apps they've got just don't work. They are horrible. All right, House Horrors. Yeah, that's what I meant when I was saying Firefly Funhouse. I got the name wrong. But yeah, House Horrors. Wasn't for a championship. I do not have too many live streams running. Okay, I'm getting wound up. I need to take a breather. No choice. I'm going to have to go on the phone, which means I have to turn off channel points. Because I can't track them. I just won't be able to track them. This is really very frustrating. Channel points are disabled. I don't like doing it, but I've done it. Ultimately, it's not much of a watch along if I can't watch along. So this is a third app that I'm now trying for BT. Keith Lee's just making his entrance from where I'm sitting right now. He's just making his entrance. I mean, that's an annoyingly fair comment there, J-Dub. An annoyingly fair comment. Yeah, we are where we are. It wasn't a championship match, Kuro. It was non-title because Bray Wyatt was going to be winning thanks to Jinder Mahal. It was non-title. Hi, Rami. How you doing? A few seconds ahead. Okay, okay. Bailey says WWE could just bring back Alexa 1 week as they got it. She doesn't want to. She does not want to come back. It's really that simple. She doesn't want to go backwards. Kuro wants a fridge champion. He wants a fridge champion. There was a lot of heat there for Keith Lee. A lot of people really behind him. Keith Lee versus Karrion Kross. Neither of these can really afford another loss. No, that's not going to happen. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. You're very excited by the fridge concept, aren't you, Kuro? I like it. I will not be surprised if we hear another Jeff Hardy chant here. This is, of course, a rematch of their NXT Championship match, in which Keith Lee in which Karrion Kross, I should say, picked up a quite major injury. Karrion Kross is just getting beat up. Now, I'm not necessarily against that. It's not a bad thing just getting beat up in this regard. Rami is asking what everybody's asking right now. What do you think about the news about CM Punk? Well, when it comes to the news that... It depends what news you mean. The news that he was in discussion with AEW, we've been talking about that in spoiler warning for weeks. Weeks now we've been talking about that in spoiler warning. So it's not really news. Outside of that, Body Slammer reported that he's all but signed. Meanwhile, Fightful Selector saying no, he hasn't. So I will believe it if I see it. If not, when? You say they could pull it off. I think it's more likely they get shit on by the entire goddamn world. I'd enjoy it. Megan says Scarlett not being beside Cross is just weird. They're a unit. They should be. They should be, and it's just not working. This version of Karrion Kross isn't the same person. Megan says, I'm looking forward to Punk being in heels on Stars in a few weeks. Apart from that, I'm ignoring everything, which is fair. Even if you show me the contract where Punk is signed on the dotted line, I still won't believe it. Because CM Punk is the biggest flight risk in wrestling history. Literally, the biggest flight risk there has ever been. He would literally just walk out while contractually obliged to wrestle. He would. He absolutely would. If you are currently watching on YouTube, please do remember that you can click the like button. That makes a big difference to me and really helps me grow and try and find new subscribers as we do so. At the moment, I'm currently sitting on 625 subscribers, a really very good number. A really very good number. And really shows how things have been developing recently. You know? Things have been developing in a very good way. And I personally am very, very happy with the way that things are developing. Very happy indeed. So thank you to everyone who does click like. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, who has watched, who has clicked like, who's commented on videos. I really do appreciate it. No idea. The first one I got was 2K17. Who do I think Cross will lose the NXT title to? Samoa Joe. 100%. Obviously not 100%, but 100%. You get me. Not actually 100%, but 100%. I never commit. I never commit to 100%, but like, yeah, 100%. Megan says, I just can't believe they're willing to keep a beautiful blonde woman with a penchant for wearing form-fitting clothes away from the main TV broadcast. And I think that's fair. She's everything that Vince McMahon wants. Everything that Vince McMahon needs. Everything he loves. It's worth pointing out that Sable, Lana, for a more recent example, they tend to get over beyond the person that they're working with. Maybe they're trying to avoid that. Maybe they're trying to avoid Karrion Kross walking down to the ring while people chant Scarlet, Scarlet, Scarlet. Maybe. Who knows? Hello, Ritik. I don't know what else you're saying, but I'll say hello to you. Jermaine says, WWE, what the hell are you doing putting Keith Lee in a match against Karrion Kross? Both guys can't take a loss right now. They both need to be built up instead. That is absolutely correct. I completely agree. So far, it's been okay, but this is a rematch of their NXT Championship match. And it's in a throwaway segment on Raw. It's not good. It's not good. After SummerSlam, during the draft section, Kross will be a full-time Raw superstar. Interesting to see Keith Lee drafted in like this to replace Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was supposed to beat Karrion Kross again this week. Honestly, what I'd like is just a series of count-out losses. like dual count-out losses, because they just don't stop fighting. They start breaking tables. They start using chairs at times. They just don't like each other. I want that feud. I want that feud. Megan's... Oh, no. Who do you think will be a shock draft pick this year? Robert Stone. And Megan says, Scarlett's a perfect femme fatale, which is what they need for something different. Eva's trying to be that, but fails. Yeah. Eva Marie just hasn't quite nailed it. Scarlett, though, is like full-on metal, so she's not quite the same vein as Eva Marie, but still fun. Still very fun. Corey Graves reminding everyone of Karrion Kross losing last week and being embarrassed in the process. The crowd don't quite know how to chant "Let's go Lee." So they're chanting "Let's go Lee." An easy way to do it, let's go Keith Lee. Right, so they've just put over his big straight jacket sleeper move, and Keith Lee's already got out of it. So that's the end of that move then. Karrion Kross is getting the shit kicked out of him. He's had barely anything this match. It's all been Keith Lee. That's an Andrade back elbow. The crowd are into it. Do I think Rampage will be like Dynamite? Yes, almost exactly. As Megan says, tell me you don't give a toss about NXT without telling me you don't give a toss about NXT. Well, when the champion is getting the shit kicked out of him by Keith Lee, says it all. Keith Lee, of course, a former NXT champion, the person that Karrion Kross originally won the title from. This should be a much bigger deal than it is. Spear bomb's not going to happen. Dangerous suplex. Go ahead, Rami. You can ask me whatever questions you like. We are an AMA stream here. Ask me anything. Looks like Kross might be taking the win here. I think Lee's going to do the pass out. That arm is now trapped. Turn, Keith. Turn left. Turn left. Karrion Kross has got the win. Now, to be clear, I'm happier with Karrion Kross winning than Keith Lee. Mainly because Keith Lee has only just returned, so he can afford a couple of losses while he's sort of regaining fitness, as it were. He can afford that, whereas Karrion Kross could not. He's supposed to be at peak physical performance. So I would rather have Karrion Kross pick up the win there. Megan says Keith Lee was the first double singles champion in NXT, but that's all but forgotten now. Doesn't seem to be any mention of that. No. And Jada says Keith Lee's career, time of death, 9/37, 26th of July. I don't think it's that bad. I think it would be worse for Karrion Kross to lose. Moxie has already lost. We have a recap of Nikki Cross's cash in last week, our second recap. Keith Lee wouldn't be a bad shout to win the Rumble, Moxie. I don't personally see it, though. I just don't personally see it. As much as anything, this recap seems to be to remind people that it was Rhea Ripley who basically set it up on a plate for her. Even rolled her back into the ring. I always forget what a finisher is. The crossbody is apparently a finisher. I'm not for that. It's a bad pin as well. Very fiddly. I think she's just really hyped up. I'm going to be honest. I 100% guarantee you Nikki Cross did not know she was going to be winning the championship until she arrived at Raw that day. 100%. They know she would have had the emotion on her face. Megan says, Keith Lee's return was a stepping stone for an eclipse by Goldberg's return. Now he's lost to Cross when he was likely a last-minute pick to face him. He was the last-minute pick, yeah. All of that sucks. I agree. Humberto Carrillo would have been perfect. Next Universal Champion, I think it'll be Shinsuke Nakamura. No, I hope it'd be Shinsuke Nakamura. I think it's going to be Drew McIntyre, let's be honest. Nikki is doing a real slow promo again. Look, I've got to be honest here. She's saying the exact same stuff that Braun Strowman was saying in his feud with Shane McMahon. Yes, you will. Rhea Ripley has appeared. That badly scripted. Okay, Rhea's been horribly scripted. What have we got here? T-Bar and Mace. Is this going to be Mansoor and Ali then? We knew we were going to get a Mansoor and Ali tag team match. Didn't know about Retribution. Don't mind their music. What do we got? Boy Scout says, do you think she will retain SummerSlam? Probably not, unfortunately. The user says it shouldn't be AASH, almost superior. I'm hearing AAS, to be honest. Nikki Ash. It is Ali and Mansoor versus T-Bar and Retribution next. Megan listing some people who could have been fed instead of Keith Lee. Gulak, Elias, Carrillo, Mace T-Bar, Tozawa. Any of them would be better than watching Keith Lee just lose again, which is what makes me suspect it is part of the storyline. I think Keith Lee was supposed to be losing a few matches at this point. And then we'll find out what's actually happened. Jermaine Presley says, I think Natalya got hurt during the match. Couldn't believe. So I believe an audible was called by WWE. It was. Natalya actually called the audible herself. So they rushed to the finish. Natalya was hurt. They just queued everything up ready. Bailey says, did Rhea have better mic work in NXT or has this always been a problem? Rhea is pretty good on the microphone. She's just scripted horribly. There will not be an NXT Championship match at SummerSlam. Ask me the question, Rami. Go right ahead. Yeah, there will not be a championship match for the NXT Championship at SummerSlam. Megan says, kind of reminds me when AJ put himself out of the Rumble last year when he got hurt. Yeah, it's exactly the same. Natalya's there to be the ring general. She's in charge of what's going on with those 4 women. She calls an audible. Everyone responds. Yes, the user, Natalya did win because Tamina beat Eva Marie for her. Beauty of a tag team. You don't have to get the pinfall yourself. So a win is a win. And it will still go down as a victory for Natalya, despite the fact she wasn't involved past hurting her ankle. It looked like her right ankle was hurt. Looked like a right ankle. Go ahead, Kuro. Better be super important. It better be super important. Can't go around false advertising. It's got to be super important. So far, though, I've got to be honest. Raw's been all right. There's been a couple of slower moments. Like that, I wouldn't have liked Keith Lee to win, but I think of the two, I'd have rather had Keith Lee lose and Karrion Kross win. I think of the two. Ultimately, it's a bad situation to walk into. All right, Kuro. That's not really that important. I don't use Apple. iPhones are terrible. Like genuinely terrible. We also have Bobby Lashley, who will probably be appearing in the second hour draw segment after this match. That's what makes the most sense to me. I don't think we're done with Alexa Bliss. I still think we'll see Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax at some point. Other than that, I can't really think of anyone else who hasn't been featured yet, other than the cursed one. My TV does not have it, the user. Unfortunately, I brought my TV upstairs and it's not connected to an aerial. And you have to connect an aerial to the BT Sport box. So, no such luck. I think you also have to connect an Ethernet cable. It's got no internal Wi-Fi, which is even further away. Either way, don't work. At the minute, using the phone. Hopefully they sort out the app. We'll have to go from there, won't we? We'll have to go from there. Moxie says, as regards the Rumble, I see it being a mid-carder like Kevin Owens or like Cross. Cross is not a mid-carder. Somewhere like that. Maybe when Bobby loses to Big E from Cash-In, Bobby could win the Rumble. I don't see that either. I'm not sure at this point who's likely to win the Rumble. It's too far ahead. It's not like October last year where I could honestly say 100% Bianca Belair will be winning the Royal Rumble and challenging Sasha Banks. Did Dominik Dijakovic just bar like a sheep? I don't think Retribution will be winning. Just because Ali and Mansoor can't get on together. Standard stuff. No response at all from Mansoor. Literally nothing. Literally nothing at all. Nice response to Ali. That's a nice boo. I like it. I was hoping Ali would get a good response. And this is definitely a good response. So I'll certainly take it. Mansoor's a hyper guy. No. We will never see the Shield together again. Megan says, the paint on Dijakovic's face reminds me of when I spill hair dye. As someone who used to dye his hair black when he had the long ponytail, I get what you're saying. Get the Table says, why has Rhea seemed to have gotten worse since she's come to Raw? Because the scripting and the creative for her is fucking terrible. The scripting in that segment with Nikki was absolutely awful. There's nothing she can do with that. There's nothing she can do with that. It's just really bad writing. She's not scripted like a person. She's scripted like a script. Ali just got hit hard. That was a big hit. Ali started, which is good. I mean, you're supposed to be in charge, right? You're supposed to be the leader. Megan says, Mansoor is probably just known as the token Saudi guy for these shows, so that might sour some people on him. It's fair. Many people not really big fans of the Saudi regime. Get Table says, was she less scripted in NXT? Considerably less scripted, yes. Considerably. The user, he asked for it to go back. The reason his name was changed initially is because no one knew how to pronounce it. At which point he went to people and said, you could have asked me. So they did. And just like that, they got his name back. Retribution are just beating the crap out of Ali. It's especially funny because do you remember when they were in Retribution together? Because WWE don't do it. I agree. I think it's a good tag team. I think their little storyline together has actually been really fun. Sometimes the little storylines are what actually really grab the attention. And that's definitely the case for me in this instance. You don't have to be big and fancy. Look at what's happened with Baron Corbin. I did not expect much out of that feud with Nakamura, but it got me. It got me hard. It made me care, and now, I can't stop. I can't stop caring. It's very good. Mansoor's looking good against Dio Madden. Good balance from Dio Madden there. Genuinely very good balance. Yeah, they also don't remember that. To be fair, this isn't Dijakovic. It's T-Bar. It's a new character who you've never seen before. Pardon me. Oh, lovely DDT. Lovely. Bailey says the Corbin storyline as a winner could go so many ways. It could. I'm definitely thinking it's a face push and a championship. Exactly, Megan. The WWE don't seem to like the characters from NXT, so they've just basically stopped it. Bear with me just a moment, guys. Just 1 second. And I'm back. Apologies for that. Megan says, then again, can't even remember Pipe was in NXT UK and the Mae Young Classic. It amazes me sometimes that they remember Rhea Ripley was in the Mae Young Classic, to be honest. Basically, WWE main roster are really disappointed with what they've been getting from NXT. They don't feel they've been getting full characters and personalities. They think they've been getting caricatures. They think that someone's been called up and it's been a case of, okay, they have one personality trait. Matt Riddle, for example, he's high. Nikki Cross, for example, she's crazy, etc. And they've been annoyed at NXT. We all obviously already know, we've spoken about it on Spoiler Warning, the issue that the WWE have with Triple H at the moment. A lot of officials in WWE and creatives do not like Triple H. Moxie says, when Becky returns, I want her to lose her first match and then the WWE make a storyline out of it. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. I do feel some big names could lose a lot more matches. Are 3 of the most entertaining things on Raw just randomly thrown together tag teams? Pretty much. Yeah, Styles and Amos, RK Bro, and Mansoor and Ali. Yeah. Didn't expect that. But we are where we are. Can't say otherwise. They're definitely very entertaining. Much more entertaining than you might expect. We're heading into our second hour draw segment. Still an hour left. So Bobby Lashley's turn next, I think. The user says, when will Sasha return? Soon. Gonna sneeze. Something's really irritating my nose. Something's really irritating me. Must just be something to do with the heat. And he says, are we in the multiverse? If so, I'm going Bucky hunting. Why are we in the multiverse? Also, I get why he'd be going Bucky hunting. Why not do that anyway? Moxie says, I just clocked that Reigns is undefeated since 2019. Correct. That's Roman Reigns for you. This version of Roman Reigns is basically unstoppable anyway. So who's going to defeat him? You? You're going to defeat him? You're going to defeat Roman Reigns? I'm certainly not. Ain't nobody beating Roman. He is our tribal chief. Bobby Lashley is making his entrance. Crowd seem into it. So the segment now is basically going to be Bobby Lashley accepting Goldberg's challenge and very possibly destroying MVP in the process. I don't think we're going to get that far, but it's possible. Now wouldn't be a bad time to do it. Jacob says, how many matches has Reigns won fair and square since 2019? 1? I'm going to go with what? He hasn't even wrestled many, to be fair. I have no idea because I don't know what house show you're talking about, the user. You're going to have to give me more than that. Moxie says Sasha is returning in between 1 to 3 weeks. No, Moxie, she's returning soon. It's that simple. There is a who's next sign right in front of Bobby. He paused briefly just to look at it. That boo was piped in, which is a shame. He was getting a good response. That boo was piped in heavy. Because now they've turned it off, he's not getting much reaction at all. Just a bad decision of piping in. It's horribly fake boos. There you go. J-Dub's got this. MJF's cousin's best friend guarantees Sasha is returning before the end of 2021. There we go. Hot off the presses there from MJF's cousin's best friend, who has been very good to us over the years. I say over the years. I've only been doing this 6 months. Been very good to us recently. We're getting a recap of Goldberg's return. No sign of Goldberg as of yet. It seems unlikely he's going to be there. Just shouted in his face. That's Goldberg, though, just screaming at people. That's his thing. I expect it. Okay, I don't like that. They had the Goldberg chant piped into the recap. When they stopped the recap, they kept it for a crowd. It synced in. It was just wrong. MVP is talking. That was a yawn. I apologize. They did. They cheered and they clapped. They are pro Bobby. MVP ensuring that Bobby Lashley stays heel, which is why they will not split up for a while yet. Jennifer says, did he screech in his face because Lashley's ear was bleeding? Yeah, he didn't think he had an ear. He thought it fell off. He's just trying to help. He's been there all night. I keep spotting him every now and then, just obviously on hard cam. Such good times. Moxie says this is like Brock and Paul. It is. It is exactly like that. If Brock Lesnar wanted to kill Paul Heyman, like it's there. This is real. Of course he is. Bobby Lashley does not back down from a fight. When challenged to Hell in a Cell, Bobby Lashley just said yes. He didn't even think. Why is he suddenly a coward now? Why is he a coward now? This is not a good use of Cedric Alexander. Seriously, Cedric, you have nothing to add here. Is that really your whole thing? You didn't do anything with your time off? Oh god, I hate his voice. That's bullshit and everybody knows it. Cedric, man. And here comes Shelton Benjamin. This is not good. This is called going backwards. Accurate. Cedric Alexander's voice, not fun. Her business might not be over. I think they were just desperate to give Bobby Lashley someone to fight with. Megan says, I still find it so amusing to think that if you told someone at the start of 2020 last year that Roman Reigns would be a heel Universal Champion with Paul Heyman and Bobby Lashley was a dominantly booked WWE Champion with MVP at his side, you'd have been laughed out of everywhere. Very true. This is what I'm talking about. Bobby Lashley just been, I'll take them both on. Why is he suddenly afraid of Goldberg? He's not a coward. That's not what he does. Oh, these two are going to get buried, aren't they? Like, this is not going to be good. Ooh. Bobby Lashley has just added a couple of more moves to his repertoire that scream powerhouse. Megan quite rightly saying, Alexander's getting launched over the ropes at least twice, isn't he? He definitely is. That's what he does, though, going over the top. That's what he does. Man can fly. Cedric's going to get run into the ring post. It just looks so good. It just looks so good. MVP getting on TV there. Good shot of Santa. If Bobby Lashley gets rolled up now, I will not forgive the WWE. Just not good enough. Nice, very nice. Bit of teamwork. Lashley staggered. Double pin doesn't even quite get to 2. Alexander and Benjamin are starting to communicate here. Oh, that spinebuster looks so good. Bobby's going to end up like Brock in that he wants to work with the smaller guys because the smaller guys make him look like an absolute monster. Jackhammer on Shelton Benjamin. Not perfect, but a lot better than how Goldberg does it. A lot better. And the Dominator on Cedric Alexander onto Shelton Benjamin. Stacked and counted. To my knowledge, J-Dub, Goldberg is not there. I believe Goldberg was given the week off. He worked hard last week, as we know. I don't think he's there. That made that made Lashley look great. Did not make Benjamin or Alexander look very good. They had a very, very brief moment of offense, and that was it in the whole thing. The whole thing. So it was a spear, a jackhammer, and a Dominator. I don't think Lashley's hitting the Dominator on Goldberg. I gotta be honest with you guys, I just don't see it. Stacked him up like Roman did. Stacked him like Roman. Who's what, Moxie? Who's what was better? No sign of Goldberg. 50 minutes left. We only know about one match. So I'm interested to see what happens in the upcoming ones. But so far, yeah. Raw still hasn't been bad. The Miz is on our screens. And Toxic Predator is in our stream. Welcome, Toxic Predator. Glad to see you. Moxie, I'll always choose Roman. Correct. Styles and Amos have encountered Miz and Morrison backstage. Ugh. Never not wet. How is that a thing? Almost standing guard while AJ Styles whispers to Miz and Morrison. Interesting to see what they're going to do here. What a pop for Matt Riddle. No, but seriously, what a pop for Matt Riddle. That was a hell of a response. Way more than I expected there. And he's away. I'm not there for the birds. I'm not. Also, he's getting worse with the shoes. Like, he's getting worse with the shoes. That one apparently just came back to him. He's a boomer shoe. Riddle takes on John Morrison next. Right. So Styles was trying to make sure that Riddle was taken out of action, was he? Before RK Bro can come after the tag team championships. Clever. Clever. Mark says Bobby versus Goldberg is going to be 11 minutes. It's going to be like Brock versus Goldberg WrestleMania 32. I would be fine with that. Brock versus Goldberg was great. WWE advertising SmackDown. John Cena and Finn Balor. Will our main event this week be Roman versus Finn Balor? But John Cena will find a way to get involved, I can assure you of that. John Cena never goes quietly. Bam, 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 bam. We have 50 minutes left. It looks like there's just going to be the two matches. Matt Riddle versus John Morrison up next. And our main event, which will be Charlotte Flair versus Nikki Cross. With a commercial break on, I'm going to pop to the bathroom and I'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere and I'll see you in just a moment. And we are back for what will be the final section of WWE Raw. Well, not quite the final, but nearly. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. The final 45 minutes. 2 matches left to go. Toxic says, do you think it's going to be a fatal three-way? So triple threat. SummerSlam with Cena, Balor, and Reigns. I don't. I think the main event of SummerSlam will be John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Megan says, again, to Moxley, not likely. Goldberg hasn't wrestled over 5 minutes in a match since 2004. The only exception was a dumpster fire against The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia, which is 9:35. Hasn't wrestled a 10-minute match in WWE since 2004. Yeah, Goldberg never lasts very long, does he? So we'll have Matt Riddle versus John Morrison. And AJ Styles is doing something. I get you, Corey. Cheers, man. AJ Styles has been in the background making shadow puppets. No sign of Randy Orton once again. No sign of him. They're really overdoing this whole drip business now. They're really overdoing it. Saying that he's always moist. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. What is Kalisto doing now? I'm honestly not sure. May says, somehow I managed to remember tweeting about that back in January when he's facing Drew in the Rumble. Good times. Good times. Baron Saxon just getting drenched for no reason. Once again with the moist wanted business. I'm just, ugh. You know? Just, ugh. Right, so we've got Morrison and Riddle, which should be a very fun match. I think it's one we've seen before, but that's not really an issue for me when it comes to this level of talent. That's a very quick little triangle. Matt Riddle does like to start with a bit of actual shoot wrestling. Morrison should be able to hang. I mean, he's not. He should be able to, but so far he's not proved capable of it. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, I never get this. Utilizing his parkour background. No, he's just done some technical wrestling. There's no parkour in grip. I don't understand. Maggie says, this isn't as fun as Big E winding up Corey Graves. Probably one of the most consistent pieces of WWE TV in recent years. Yeah, good times. WWE are re-advertising the women's championship contenders match. It's a third championship contenders match between Nikki and Charlotte. What the hell? Right, so Charlotte's probably winning then, so that we can get a championship match next week, which Rhea Ripley can interrupt. It's going to be one of those, isn't it? Oh, lovely kick from John Morrison. Lovely kick. The Miz just saying count to 100. Yeah, I agree with you, Megan. Big E definitely needs to come back to Raw. There's so much there that's just ready for him, you know? Oof. Here's a nice reversal by Riddle. If they can just deliver a decent match, then this Raw will go down as a good one. Not a great one, not much has actually happened per se, but certainly a massive improvement on what's come several weeks in a row. Riddle getting wet. Quick roll up. And a nice little knee. Riddle come in for the Miz. I have no idea, Moxie. I will not be speculating on it. Riddle doing the turtle thing. I kind of like the turtle thing, gotta be honest. My sister did that once. Just at a wedding. Just full on turtled. It's funny. Another commercial break. Still 3 more to come. Lots of ads. Lots of ads. When it comes to winners of the match, I would imagine Riddle's going to win, but then afterwards, AJ Styles and Amos will get involved, and it'll just be a bit of a mauling. While they basically launch the the RK Bro versus Styles and Amos feud. This is the ideal time to launch it, to make it start happening, you know? You get me. Basically, Megan, yeah, Megan says, with his recent matches, is Morrison now the sleeper hit guy for TV now? I would say so. You can't fail with a John Morrison match. You just know it's going to be good. The best live match I've ever seen featured John Morrison and Will Ospreay. You know, it's a guarantee of quality. It's always just a wonderful show. Yes, Corey, I've turned off the channel points. There has been an issue with BT Sport, so I cannot track channel point use right now, so I've turned them off. I'm very limited by what I can and can't do here, unfortunately. There's a lot going on. But yeah, channel points are off. Just for this show. They should be back for spoiler warning on Friday and then going forwards from there. I don't think Big E's going to fail Moxie, but it's certainly possible. And that's the thing. We definitely can't say it's impossible because that would just be inaccurate. It's always possible. And of course, it's always possible there's a big change. Otis was supposed to cash in on his, to be fair, before they changed it and changed it and changed it. You don't know that, Moxie. Speculation on your part. You're a big fan of a statement of fact. It's called dogma. And you state your opinion as fact. You do it a lot. When we come back, we should be heading towards the finish of the match. They want to at least make it look like... You don't need to be sorry. I'm just stating it, mate. Don't worry. I think they need to make it look like they've got 30 minutes for Charlotte versus Nikki. In reality, it'll be like 8. I think we all know this. But they'll make it look like it's going to be a 30-minute match. Lots of promos, lots of commercial breaks. They'll find some way to make it work. 200 didn't want my iPad Twitch to be broken already. No, channel points are turned off. We're having a few technical difficulties, so I just found a way to make it work, and it involves turning off channel points. So unfortunately, you can't come in and go straight for the 24/7 championship at the moment. This is the downside of doing everything through StreamYard, you see. Great for the YouTube, not so great for the Twitch. But I need the YouTube to get going, you know? I need those subs. Miz has managed to make his way back into an upright position. Bless him. Getting a replay of the kick. It's a good one. Do you not have any channel point options, Corey? I find them very useful. I'm going to say people really like putting me into a jacket. A Lazarus reference. Lovely catch by John Morrison. Perfect. Here comes Styles and Amos. This is to start the build towards Styles and Amos versus RK Bro. Also gives us an opportunity to get AJ Styles to a heel again. Riddle might be taking a significant beating tonight. Which only helps the babyface push he's currently getting, of course. That is just a full-on groin to the face. There's no knee there. It's not a Shining Wizard. It's a full-on groin to the face. Morrison does it every week. It's just a groin. This is not a pairing I expected. Styles and The Miz historically not the best of friends. Which is confusing because they're very similar characters. Only difference being that AJ Styles isn't that much of a coward. Whereas The Miz is. Lovely powerbomb from Riddle. Crowd are really behind Matt Riddle here. Everything he does is getting a significant pop. But they're planning something on the outside. Matt Riddle shouting at them. AJ Styles has swiped the scooter. Matt Riddle should probably focus on the wrestling, but that's not going to happen. Oh, is Amos going to bend the scooter? Go on, do it. Do it. Choose violence. Oh. He just pulled the handle off. Into the crucifix. I don't know even what to call that move. Starship Pain. He did not land on that top rope properly to start with. Riddle takes the loss. Could have got to the ropes if he was still conscious, but Starship Pain historically does a lot of damage to people. Like, really. And it's a loss for Riddle. Hello, mycologists. Almost looks like he might be about to have a bad reaction to The Miz. Nah. They've let him go. Styles beating down Riddle. This would be a great time for Randy Orton to return. There is a Randy chant going on in the ring, in the arena. A very loud Randy chant. Riddle taking a Styles clash. Took a moment to get a firm grip on him. No point of Randy Orton coming back now. Styles and Amos stand tall. The feud has started, and this will be our Raw Tag Team Championship feud going into SummerSlam. Styles and Amos doing double duty, of course. I don't know, guys. Good Raw. Good Raw. Okay, we're talking Reginald now. Gotcha, Corey. Sometimes it can take time. Now, if Jax and Baszler are on the same page, what we should have is a newly dominant Baszler and Jax. Don't know if that's what we're actually going to get, but that's what we should have. It seems like the story here is supposed to be Reginald, not Shayna Baszler or Nia Jax. R-Truth making his entrance. It's been a while since he's actually come down to music. Corey, no, I think she may have just twisted her ankle. It was an ankle problem rather than one of the bigger problems, which is hamstring or knee. He's got a headset. Not even using a microphone anymore. R-Truth has gone high tech. It's a pre-booked 24/7 championship match between Reginald and R-Truth. How often does that happen? When's the last time we actually had a pre-booked 24/7 championship match? I haven't seen that in a long time. A long time. But yeah, I don't think Natalia's seriously hurt. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Right, not very long now. We're in our final half hour. It's been a good Raw. I can't sit here and say different. There's been a lot that's been happening. It's minor character development. It's nothing significant, really. Disagree on that, Corey. Seems like it's the same as every week, to be completely honest with you. We always have commercial break after commercial break after commercial break. After this one, we've still got two more. So we'll have the R-Truth Reginald match, and then maybe a promo. Then we'll see Charlotte making her entrance, commercial break. Megan says, Happy Me sees R-Truth in front of a crowd. Angry Me knows he's likely going to be playing second fiddle to Reginald like the women's tag teams did for months. Indeed. Something wrong, Toxic? Is there a problem? Is there a problem, Toxic? Oh, it blipped. That happens. Blips, unfortunately, are an upsetting fact of life. Glad it was only brief. What I think will happen... the user says, what do you think will happen at the end? I think Charlotte's beating Nikki Cross. I think Charlotte's beating Nikki Cross. I don't want Charlotte to beat Nikki Cross. I still think it's happening. It's a championship contenders match after all. So if Charlotte can pick up this win, then she can basically walk into a championship match next week. And if she can walk into a championship match next week, then she's all set. Then Rhea Ripley can get involved, and before you know it, it's the one-on-one again. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing personally. Bloody hell. Well, we're all set for our final half hour. They're advertising Raw in Kansas. Okay, so we have R-Truth. That's a start. I can't remember the last time I heard Reginald's music. Or if in fact I have. He's wearing a suit. Reginald's generally the story, isn't he? They hit a trampoline then. I mean, it's fancy. It's fancy. I think they've just pushed it back under the ring again. He fell over. I'm surprised we've still never got a Reginald Ricochet feud. That must be the dream. Not that dream, but like the dream. Megan says Charlotte will win because she's Charlotte. They need the big guaranteed name for SummerSlam on the women's side. Can't make it too obvious. The 2 free part-time guys are the priority. True. R-Truth's going to wrestle with the microphone on his face. What did he say? Did he just call him a little dick? Brutal. This is getting rough. I'm not sure what we're going to get, Corey. I think Charlotte wins this week, personally. He's trying to clothesline him with a jacket. Okay, here's the thing, right? Yes, Reginald can flip about, and that's very impressive. But at some point, he has to also do a wrestle. He has to also show something other than flip, 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 flip. So can we please do that? Can we please do something other than flip about? Megan says, Reginald Ricochet would be interesting, looking at Insta. Good friends, so they would probably love working together. Probably, yeah. As finishes go, that's not very good. We'll see, Corey. I'm still confident it's going to be Reigns versus Cena. If Balor is added to that match, then Balor will be taking the pin. And that won't be a good look for anyone. Reginald just abandoned his championship to dive over the top rope. I mean, it was a nice move, but he had to go back for his belt. I don't get it. He must be everything that Randy Orton hates. Just literally everything Randy Orton hates. Charlotte's backstage. Nice big boo. A cash-in should be taken personally. Stuttered over that line. I do like the new robe. The new Cruella style. Fair point. The almost does not really work. That's not true. She was the first women's champion of this era. But the Divas title was being retired regardless of who won it. Strong boo. Don't we all, Megan? Don't we all? A very strong boo. She's just walking down being Charlotte. I think I just saw a 3D star. A 3D shooting star. There are little 3D shooting stars falling across the screen. What is it with these championship contenders matches? Is that a thing? Because it's brand new to me. They've made it official. You now have to beat a champion to challenge a champion. No one's done it. Well, I think no, they've all done it, haven't they? Rebuilt engine. Megan says, I would imagine the robes are heavy though, especially with all the detail and layers of different material. True, it's probably the reason Charlotte's legs are so toned. It's just because of the robe. It's just such a good robe. So after another commercial break, Nikki Cross will make her entrance, and before you know it, we've got about a 5-minute match. We've got another commercial break. Just another one. This whole thing at the end of a show really winds me up. Just getting constant breaks when we just want to get to the actual bloody point. Hey, Floodwater says 20 minutes to go. One more break after this. Indeed, we get this one. One break just as the match starts, and there we are. Megan quite rightly saying more ad breaks and recaps than wrestling tonight. Not ideal. Really not ideal indeed. Not good at all. But hey, overall, Raw hasn't been bad. It's just suddenly become very slow. You know? It's just suddenly become very slow. Disappointing. For something that started so well, I just expected a little bit more. I don't know. Sami Zayn would, to be fair. Reginald's definitely a Sami Zayn guy. Yeah, it's the last hour has gotten slow. I think overall, this show's been delivering much better than your typical Raw. It's been an improvement and a significant one at that. And really, that's all we can ask for sometimes. No floodwater, 100% he had a little trampoline that they tucked underneath afterwards. It's the old Lucha Dragon style. It's just a little trampoline. He'll screw it up eventually, just like everyone else does, but it's fun while it lasts. So we're coming up to second to last section. Not quite the final section. Second to last. Raw has definitely slowed down. Started off very good. Raw Talk will feature Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, AJ Styles, and Omos. And to be fair, that's people who've had genuine character development. I still think we're likely to see Rhea Ripley. Probably our last commercial break will happen when Rhea Ripley comes down to commentary or something like that. I do think we're going to see Rhea. Nikki Cross still has not made her entrance. Get the table says Reginald is impressive. He is. The flips and stuff are great, really impressive. I'd like to see a few wrestling moves though. You're a wrestler. You're a champion now. Let's at least try and wrestle sometimes, yeah? Nikki, who opens the show, gets to main event as well. I'm never the biggest fan of a character who's just happy to be there. And I do get the feeling she's going to end up being rejected eventually. I don't want it, but I feel it's going to happen. Just trying to get high fives from everybody at ringside. She seems to freeze a little bit. She gets to the fans, then stops and is like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? This show definitely isn't for you, Floodwater. It's been all championship contender matches. There's been 3 of them. It is official for SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley versus Nikki versus Charlotte Flair, and that's made it much more interesting. In my opinion, do you feel like Lee is on his way out? No, I really don't. I really don't think he's on his way out. I think at this point, the only reason he's losing is so that he can eventually come back strong. But I don't have any details as to his time away. I didn't go looking. Once it became clear that it wasn't medically related, I did not go looking. Oh, Nikki's got a little cape and everything. A little cape and a belt. She had a belt underneath her belt. Charlotte just shaking her head like, what the fuck is this? Why have I got to deal with you? Because the champion can change, but the triple threat can stay the same, Flip. It's silly, but yeah, that's Adam Pearce, apparently. Adam Pearce apparently just isn't the smartest man. We're supposed to be annoyed at Charlotte for underestimating Nikki. At the same time, this is a mismatch. Nikki literally just ran into a clothesline. This is a mismatch. Jacob says, I love Nikki and I'm happy for her success. Not sure I see longevity with this persona. I agree. Oh, nice. I do agree with that. I don't think this is long term. This has a shelf life, same as The Fiend did. The Fiend eventually outlived its usefulness, like a long time before it should have. I feel this at most can last 7-8 months a year. Unless you go dark with it. It's an option. Vote with CM Punk. I wonder what happened to that guy. Charlotte's just getting the crowd booing. She's very good at gaining heat. I don't think Nikki will be the champion at Survivor Series, Moxie. Yes, Flood. Wyatt is advertised for August 9th Raw, but Sasha Banks was advertised for the SmackDown before Money in the Bank, so card subject to change. Get the tables. My opinion on Charlotte is really clear. She is one of the best ever, if not the best ever. She is literally the nexus around which the women's division has worked. Yes, you'd still have great wrestlers. You'd still have Sasha Banks. You'd still have Becky Lynch. But Charlotte is the nexus around which everything else revolves. It simply wouldn't be as good a division without Charlotte. Megan says, Charlotte as the annoyed serious veteran, yet Nikki's been wrestling longer than her. Yeah, but Nikki is supposed to be an underdog. They're playing it as an underdog regardless of experience. Experience doesn't really matter when it comes to persona. Do I know where Orton is? I do not know where Orton is right now. But he'll be back soon, I'm sure. They are wrestling this match really slow pace. They're waiting for the commercial break. And they're doing a lot of standing around waiting for the other person to hit them. Nikki Cross's offense just doesn't look like it hurts. It's a problem. I wanted to get a chance to really get stuck in, you know? At the minute, she's just been assaulted in the corner. I don't necessarily know if Rhea's going to interfere, Bayley, but I think we'll see her soon. Megan says, I won't be surprised if we got a backstage segment with Nikki and Mighty Molly at SummerSlam. Nor I. That's clearly the inspiration here. I know they're saying it's Nikki's idea, but it's very derivative. There's no doubt about that. Possibly Moxie. Hard to tell. I don't think there's a particularly obvious pairing. We'll have to wait and see. That our commercial break? Bit of a baseball slide. So they're on the outside. This usually precludes a commercial break. Yep, Nikki's just been thrown over the announce desk. And that'll be our final commercial break. Charlotte just soaking up the hatred, which is the right thing to do in that instance. Moxie, they do, but it may change. They don't book a match without planning a winner. It's just that winner might change. No, I agree, Megan, and I really hope that's the case. It's just whether or not it actually happens is the issue. It's looking like it's going to be Raw versus SmackDown. I've been told it's Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. I just don't entirely believe it. Thank you, Nick, and welcome to the show. We're finally through to our final 10 minutes. This match should be an absolute barn burner, but it doesn't look like that's happening. A shame. It's a storytelling match. Imagine Reigns versus Bobby versus Joe. God damn it. Oh, that'd be good. I wish. And I'm going to wish really hard. I nearly said I was going to wish Willie. I'm going to wish really hard. Reigns versus Bobby versus Joe sounds like just an incredible opportunity for everyone involved. Bear with me 1 second. I agree, Flood. It's a very fair comment. Raw's main event matches have simply not delivered recently. They've not really been matches. They've just been an angle, someone gets a bit hurt, and then someone interferes. We were excited for Roman versus Bobby versus Karrion Kross. I think I'm more excited for Joe. We know Roman and Joe have real chemistry. We've never seen Bobby Lashley and Joe, at least not in the WWE. Oh, there's plenty of opportunities. Yeah, to be fair, Nick, I mean, I've commentated on the business for a long time. If I don't know by now, then, you know, no, Flood, not at all. Not at all. You say that, Moxie. I still think if The Rock gets involved at Survivor Series, Roman's taking the pin. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Roman will take the pin because The Rock gets involved. He'll take a rock bottom and then take the 1, 2, 3. Probably from Lashley. Lashley needs it more than Roman. But then again, it's Roman, isn't it? What if there's no Joe? You can't sit there and say, what if there's no Rock? I can sit there and say, what if there's no Joe? Many things could happen. There's many what ifs. I think what I said is going to happen is going to happen. According to the Wrestling Observer, yes, the WWE are hoping for The Rock. Also, according to the Wrestling Observer, the WWE have got The Rock. Different journalists, same website. A lot of people forget that Andrew Zarian is Wrestling Observer. Same people who reported that they were hoping for The Rock also reported that they got The Rock. It's not a second source. It's still the Wrestling Observer. We have 7 minutes left of Raw, and we're still in commercial break. Goldberg is not going to beat Lashley. Goldberg is not going to beat Lashley. How the hell did you get that, Nick? Rock's not even in the match. I think The Rock will interfere in the match between Roman and Bobby at Survivor Series, and Lashley will win because of it. Megan says, right now, Roman, Joe, Bobby would probably be the strongest match. Yep. Nikki, Bianca, Raquel is fine. It's okay. Apollo, Kushida, Sheamus would be good, but the big three would clinch it. They definitely would. Yeah. By all means, Moxie, you see what you see. But I still get to see what I see. It's that simple. You excited by that idea, Nick? That's what I think is going to happen. Obviously, there's plenty of time between now and then for things to change. But that's what I personally think is likely. It might be Roman versus Big E, in which case Big E is losing. This continues to be a very slow-paced match. Charlotte Flair just beating up Nikki Cross, then walking away, then beating her up, then walking away. That's the issue you've got, Moxie, is that the match at Survivor Series is not a championship match. It's not winner take all. No championships are on the line, so we can't do that. He definitely can't do that. He can turn it into a championship match for a championship. So potentially, Big E could cash in at Survivor Series, turn it into a Universal Championship match, and then Bobby Lashley could end up being the WWE and Universal Champion, but that's it. It can't be winner take all. So they reckon if Big E loses his cash-in match, it won't be directly because of him. Someone will cost him the win. There's too many variables at the minute, to be completely honest. They are toxic. It's Raw main events are incredibly slow. It sounds like the crowd's really into it, but I don't see anyone cheering. I don't see that much excitement amongst the crowd. It's sounding like everyone's on their feet. But as soon as they pan out, they ain't. Not many people on their feet at all. We're going back to the chop well. Another thing which tends to take forever. Okay, we're doing something on the top rope. Only 5 minutes left of Raw. I need this to pick up soon. Yeah, Nick, the people at ringside do genuinely look bored. Right, Nikki's going for the crossbody. I think she's hurt her elbow. She's going for the crossbody. Unlikely this is going to pick up the win. Charlotte rolls through. Not a surprise. And Charlotte wins the match. Megan, the point is to make sure people support Nikki Cross. Just endorsing her as the white meat babyface by having her lose to the annoying as hell heel. But that, Charlotte won clean there. She baited her in. Nikki lost. And that means Charlotte Flair next week gets a championship match. Wait, what's happening now? Is Charlotte getting interviewed in the ring? It's not a high crossbody. If anything, she landed completely wrong. She was way too low on Charlotte when she actually got to her. Charlotte had to pick her up and then roll backwards. Are we still going to do the ASH? Title match will probably be next week, Flood, yeah. They don't call it the opportunity. Nikki's chest is welted up. I mean, you lost Nikki. She's proven the point. SummerSlam is going to be a triple threat. That's definitely happening. But I think Charlotte gets the opportunity next week for the championship, just doesn't win it. I think next week Nikki gets the win back. That's not a good line, Nikki. Nobody's going to pop for that. Oh, God. This is terrible. She almost could have won. Next week. Literally no response whatsoever from the crowd for that rematch. Nothing. Nothing from the crowd whatsoever. This is not good. Charlotte with a cheap shot just to punctuate. Big boot. The almost thing, that's not good. There's no positive there. That's not branding. That's not catchphrase worthy. Did you win the match? Almost. So you lost. You lost. Charlotte just being a proper bully in front of a kid. Love it. Another big boot. Nikki literally can't do a damn thing. And that's how we end Raw. Well, that happened. So, what's basically a good Raw? Bad ending. A really bad ending. Very disappointed there. Megan quite rightly saying, same story, different costumes. Just did this with Charlotte and Rhea. Charlotte's entire storyline of everyone right now is, but I can't lose. They are just killing time until SummerSlam when we get to the triple threat. That's been Raw. I've been Tom Collihew. I am going to wrap up. Thank you to everyone who has joined me, everyone who has watched, everyone who has said hi. A big thank you to all of you. We will be back on Friday for Spoiler Warning and our SmackDown watch party. Until then, I've been Tom Collihew. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and I hope you all have a great week.